Hello, and thank you all for being here. Today, we're going to talk about the basics of the aura as it pertains to the work that we're going to be doing together. So again, I always like to say, as with any uncovering of subtle planes, the subtle bodies, our awareness is going to always be growing. Just know that we can always discover a new knowing, bring an old remembering current, and update what we thought we knew about something and bring it into a more refined knowing. So as we learn about the basics of the aura today, just keep your openness and your curiosity turned up and allow your body to relax into the knowing that there will always be more to discover. So I guess let's first start off asking ourselves, why would we be interested in working with the energy field and the aura? So it is my experience that understanding my aura, its different layers, is almost the quintessential step in really being able to move the needle on how good you're feeling moment to moment. It is essential for self-mastery and sort of becoming aware of the state of your aura, what shape it takes, what shape somebody else's aura takes. This is a subtle knowing. So don't require yourself to see or feel your aura immediately, but just allow yourself to anchor into the knowing that you are actually always feeling and knowing your aura. So, you could be on your way to somebody's house and your aura might feel what's going on in that house ahead of time, and you might just get a feeling of what it's going to be like there. You may walk into a party and just get the vibe, right? So that's one way that you're already feeling a situation. When we work with our aura, we can learn to see, we call them frozen pictures. What are like traumas and pains that are actually stored in this astral space around your body? And how can we clear them? How much of other people's energy is stuffed in there? What shape does our aura take when somebody's yelling, or when we're watching the news, or when we're looking at something beautiful? These are all gentle awarenesses that we can come into. And when I'm first explaining the aura to somebody who's new, I often compare it to like an iceberg, right? So the tip of the iceberg, the part that you can see, is your body. But there's so much of that iceberg actually forming the iceberg and creating the foundation of that iceberg that you can't see. And that would be the energy field. When I'm working, and you'll find throughout classes and attunements, for me, I really use the word aura interchangeably with energy field. And so you might be an energy nerd like myself, and you might be very into like the different 7 planes of the subtle bodies, or the 7 layers of the aura. And there are different schools and different spiritual schools that are going to give these different names. And all those are great. Use what resonates with you. Today, I want to talk about the aura just so that you can have a working knowledge of what's happening in your system, so that when we bring in more practices, you have already sort of gained a more nuanced and subtle awareness of the different layers of your aura. Really, what we're working with in psychic relationships is are the body, the nervous system, and the aura. And then the aura, when we're working with it, we work a lot in the astral, but then there's also the etheric. So we'll talk about that. Just to go back to the different 7 major layers of the aura, some of them will be referred to, some people will refer these to as planes of consciousness, other people just levels of the aura. And depending on if you're going to start at your body and move out, or if you're going to start out and move in, generally the through line is this is material, right? So the frequency of your body is going to be the slowest frequency. And then you move out to your etheric, which is very close to your body. That's going to be a denser layer, right? And then as you move out, like towards the astral, it's going to get less dense. It's going to get quicker, right? It's going to move quicker. And this is such an exciting thing to know, because this is this is really one of my aha moments. When I learned to move the pain and the chaos and other people's energies and my frozen pictures and my trauma out of the astral, because it's energy and it's moving so fast, it moves fast. And then those layers can start gently being removed through the etheric. So that's one really exciting thing about this work, is when you can sort of get like a working knowledge of the astral part of your aura, you can really start working with a lot of things. And I'll explain that a little more, but I just wanted to give you the through line when you're working with these 7 subtle bodies, these 7 planes of consciousness, right? As you move out, like the consciousness raises. And as you move in, the consciousness lowers. But when we're talking about becoming the golden altar of humanity, how exciting would it be able to bring in the higher levels of consciousness into the material body? And so a lot of that work is the first step, the first foundational step is just getting to know these different parts of you. So free to nerd out on these 7 planes of consciousness and do your own research if you like that. If you don't, the thing is you don't have to, because when we're working individually, each one of you is working with yourself. So just know that the astral part of your energy is light. It's fast. It's the place where we hold stories. It's the place where we have contrast and contradiction. It's a place of meaning and emotions. Okay. And all that stuff is really fast. And we're often, just play. Like, have you ever heard of the fixing and healing loop? I talked a little about this in other classes, but you can go to therapy for years and years and years and uncover deep knowledge and awareness around what happened to you and how that affected you and what's going to trigger you and why you act in a certain way. But you'll notice you'll come to a point where you'll become so aware of all of this stuff, but the stuff is still happening. And then it sort of becomes frustrating and almost disheartening, because you're like, wow, I know, I'm so aware. I know why this is happening. Why is it still happening? And this happened to me. Was really the aha moment for me that opened up so much. And it is that you can become aware. It's like therapy brings you into awareness of all of these frozen pictures in your field, all of these frozen traumas, all of this stuff. But until we explode them, until we actually remove them from the astral, we can just keep looping over, like they're there. You can just keep looping over and over again until we clear them. So for me, the big sea change in my life came when I learned how to do this practice that's actually pretty simple and so impactful. Finally move all that stuff out of my field. And in that space, in that free space, new parts of me that just couldn't wait to filter in and become part of my life were able to come online. So that's the astral. It's fast. It has our frozen pictures. It has contrast and contradiction. It's where we create stories and meaning. So I like to say that again, because if you have frozen pictures of a trauma that happened to you when you were a kid, and now you know why it happened, and now you know how you react and all of those things, but that frozen picture is in, like, your mind is just going to continue to loop on that. But if we can explode that and take that explosion and recycle it as wisdom into our crown, because we don't want to not have had experiences, even if they were bad. We want to glean the wisdom and upload that to the collective and be like, this is how this works, and upload them to your body. So we don't have to be afraid of having had traumatic or bad experiences. What we want to do is we want to explode their frozenness, those blockages in your astral, and recycle all of that as wisdom into your body and yourself, and sort of like upload that to your consciousness. And that will really move the needle. Now, the next layer down is the etheric. So you're having quick energy here, and then it starts to slow down as you start to come into form, right? So one fun thing to know, especially in this day and age that everybody's talking about manifesting and abundance and getting what you want, which all of these things are true. I think we're just getting a little bit of a huge ton of the let's see, the universal laws and the ways that that works. But the net for today is that we don't manifest by our feelings and our thoughts. We actually manifest from frequency into form. So what frequencies are going on here will affect what's coming into form here. So as you start to release the blockages, the frozen pictures from your field, recycle them as wisdom, this area that's more dense, now we're talking about the etheric, right? The etheric, it's slower. It doesn't have meaning. It's like pain or not pain. It is simple. It is where we either have flow or resistance. And when I see resistance in the etheric, to me, it just looks like crustiness. It looks like hard crusts, things that like these frozen pictures were there for so long and now they're encrusting into the etheric and they'll eventually come into form and maybe be like a crick in your neck. Okay. So when, you explode these pictures and you can then get to what's encrusted in the etheric that's maybe going to eventually come into form. And we can start to remove that. There are different ways to do that than when we're working with frozen pictures. It's more somatic. It's more feeling the feeling. It's when you get the feelings that are not necessarily attached to a story. Like I said before, it's like pain or no pain. It's resistance or it's flow. Let's see, it's either or energies. It's simple. So when we're working with the astral, we're going to bring our awareness to the center of our head. When we're working with the etheric, we'll bring our awareness down to our belly. So these are the nuts and bolts that I want you to experience and to work with, because all of the attunements and the practices that we do to bring ourselves into this continual refilling ourselves up, continual discovering who we are, continual becoming the golden human altar. We work with those with the astral and the etheric. And then there's the mental and the causal and all the other layers that you can look into that are super fun. I read through those things like if I were reading a fashion magazine. I love it. But for today and for the practices that we do in AHA, these are the things that are going to really serve you. So let's just do a practice again so that we can have the experience of these different subtle bodies. So we're first going to bring our awareness to the astral. Then we'll bring our awareness to the etheric, and then we'll come back to the astral to clear it. Because sometimes what can happen is when you clear a little bit out of the etheric, it will light up frozen pictures in the astral. And if we don't clear those, after you do an etheric clearing, you might feel great in the moment. You're like, oh, I feel so clear. But maybe half an hour later, like you're reacting to something or you're angry about something because it actually lit up these frozen pictures. So a responsible way to work with these different layers is to clear and ground your astral. Then you can move into an etheric clearing and then you go back out to the astral just in case anything got kicked up. So let's go through this practice that is a practice I would invite you to do every day, or at least a few times a week, just to come into relationship and a deeper, subtle knowledge about how these systems are working. And I see there's a few questions. So I will, after we do this practice, after we have this experiential practice, I'll go back to the questions. All right. So eyes open or closed, just come into a deeper breath, a cadence that just feels good to you right now. And soften your jaw. Allow your spine to just sort of move into a state of strong suppleness. If it feels safe, you can soften the front of your body and strengthen your spine. And clear any grounding you may have. Now, bringing your awareness to the center of your head. go ahead and pull up a fresh grounding cord. If you know how to gender ground, you can do that. Just bring a grounding cord up into your first energy center and just imbue that with the perfect amount of earth energy. And just allow yourself to feel grounded. And we'll start with just getting a hello to the edges of your aura. So just take a look if you have any edges. If you don't, go ahead and give your aura, your astral, some edges and smooth them out. Just allow your aura to take a more coherent, round your body, spherical or egg-shaped form, whatever feels good to you. But you want to just allow it to sort of become equidistant from your body at all points. Just for fun, imagining or actually playing with the size of your aura. Do you want to make those edges thicker, thinner? Do you want to bring this part of your aura wider? Do you want to bring it closer in? And settling on enough space so that you can start to see where other people's energies are, or where you might have some frozen pictures. I like to bring it sort of at an arm's length distance. And inside that space, go ahead and allow anybody else's energy that has been lodged in your field on purpose or inadvertently, allow that to just gently drain out this grounding cord. So just everybody else's energy is going to clear out, move down the grounding cord. And you'll notice with your subtle awareness that the minute you bring your awareness to that, these energies can't wait to leave and go back to sender. So this is an effortless process that happens just when you bring your awareness to other people's energy, clearing out down the grounding cord. And for good measure, you could also bring up life-size magnets outside the edges of your aura, one in front, one in back, and one on either side, and just turn them on to clear. And allow them to begin to hum out any excess energies, any energies that don't belong to you that you may have picked up in the places you visited, you may have picked up through your phone, through your conversations. We're consistently interacting with other people's energies, so it's okay, but just allow other people's energies to gently be called out of these magnets. Just humming to the edges of your aura and then out into the magnets to be neutralized. And go ahead and drop those magnets. Now, if anything is lit up in your field, as from these conversations that we've been having today, any old ideas, any frozen images of both celebrations and of difficult times, you want to explode them all, because you want to, even if the celebration was amazing, we get to remember it, but let's create space for more. Let's not keep those frozen in our fields. Have you ever had the experience of somebody who had a great win or an incredible success or opened an incredible company and then just can't seem to start the next endeavor? That's because they have frozen pictures of that win in their field. So we want to explode those, create space, and just recycle those explosions into your crown as wisdom. Just allow yourself to create space. Allow yourself to start to feel your own energy, free of other people's influences, projections, value systems, shoulds, oughts, musts. Yeah. And bringing your awareness to your grounding cord, pull up the perfect amount of earth energy into this astral. And imagining the deep center of the cosmos. Pull down some golden cosmic energy. Just replenish that. Just replenish your aura with golden cosmic energy, filling in any holes and gaps that have been created by removing other people's energies. Just fill that in with that high vibration, that high frequency. Allow yourself to be supported and nurtured, just filled up. Allow it to turn on your natural radiance and match your natural radiance. Great. And that was the astral. So let's move into the etheric level, that level that's a little slower, a little more dense, without story. So moving your awareness now from the center of your head, just put it on an elevator and bring it down through your head, through your neck, through your chest, and just let it rest in your belly. And just notice how the energy slows down, gets a little more dense. And we'll do an etheric clearing now. So imagining the bottom of your feet. Just allow some roots to grow out now from the bottom of your feet, red roots. They're going to grow deep into the earth, 15, 20 feet into the earth, 25, 30. And those roots, just allow them to begin to siphon up, to suck up perfect red earth prana. Bring that red earth prana up into your feet. Let it imbue your feet, clear out your feet energy centers, clear through your joints, your ankles. Bringing that red earth prana up through your body and just the outside of your body. Bringing it up through your knees and your joints, through your thighs, into your hips. Letting it crisscross through your whole reproductive system, up through your belly, your back, all through your systems, clearing your nurturing circuits through your clavicles, your shoulders, the top of your neck, the bottom of your neck, down your arms. Bring that red earth prana, just sucking that up through those roots in your feet into all of your joints. Spend extra time around your elbows, your wrists, your hands. Bringing it now up, your awareness into your jaw. Just filling your body with this red earth prana, purifying, clearing, breaking up any encrusted energies, sort of spilling out through your hair into your etheric body, just outside of your physical body. And just watch as this red earth prana sort of breaks up anything hard, any crusty areas. And as all those incrustations begin to clear out down your grounding cord, bring your awareness now to the astral and notice any pictures that got lit up, anybody else's energy that came into focus, and just begin to clear that out down the grounding cord. As we clear and create more range in the etheric, it will often light up our frozen pictures in the astral. So take some time right now to explode anything that got lit up. You may know, you may not know, you may see it, you may not see it, but just for good measure and to be energetically responsible, just go ahead and explode frozen pictures in your astral. And take all of those explosions and recycle them as wisdom into your crown. And just allow yourself to do another general clearing of the astral, bringing anything that no longer serves your highest purposes and trajectories into focus, and allowing that to just drain out down the grounding cord to be neutralized by the earth. And smoothing out the edges of your aura one more time. Just setting those edges at a thickness that feels comfortable for you for today. knowing that you can move and change the size of your aura throughout the day. Just give yourself some space. Pull up the perfect amount of earth energy for you right now. And imagining the deep center of the cosmos, go ahead and replenish with golden cosmic suns. Just allow them to drop in. Poof, and just fill up all of those spaces that have been emptied out with a higher frequency. And thank your body for being willing to change. Thank your aura and your crown for being willing to clear, purify, and update. Take a deep breath, maybe a few times. And when you're ready, just gently blink your eyes open and just look at something, focus on something in the room, noticing its detail, the different colors, the shapes. And then bringing your focus out a little bit until you bring your awareness back into your body. Welcome back. Celebrations, fireworks, great job. So this was just a first approach at beginning to create a relationship and understand the subtleties of the different parts of your aura, the astral, the etheric, your body. In this portal, we'll work a lot with the sensations in our body, with the way our nervous system is running. And so it's just a good practice to begin to get to know yourself energetically, subtly, more deeply, how these different parts of yourself work and how they work with you and how they interact with each other. So that was fun. I invite you to come back to this practice as often as you want. It's something that I like to do basically daily. I like to give myself a good clearing and a good connection with these parts of my body. And let's just remember that we're constantly blooming into the next versions of ourselves. So let's stay open, curious, and ready to be surprised. And as a baseline, I do like to say, if you're in the aha and coming in to yourself as the golden altar for humanity, just remember that we can be made of power, peace, and grace. Okay. Bye, guys.